Shine, shine.
Hello, hello. I'm Nancy Smith Mattox with WYTV7 in Charlotte, and the name of my show is Shine Your Light Radio Ministry. I'm so excited to have you today. We have a beautiful, wonderful businesswoman and entrepreneur that's going to really enlighten us. I'm really excited for her to tell her testimony. But before we start, let me just say that WYTV7 is a nonprofit. We do take donations, and we use our donations to promote all of the broadcaster shows internationally. And WYTV7 is an award-winning show, award-winning television station, as well as Shine Your Light is the best TV show on WYTV7, according to the Gospel Image Awards. So I'm real excited about that. So without further ado, let's get started. Today we have Dr. Leigh Hicks. She's from Clemson, North Carolina. She's got a lot to share with us, and I'm really excited to have her today. She was homeless with a 9-year-old, and that's going to lend a lot to her testimony and how she got through that and what she did. She also is a doctor. She has a PhD, so she's come a long ways. She has a company that she's the director and the founder of called Footsteps to Success, and it's to promote self-esteem among young women, so that's a good one. And also, she's got coming up on December the 7th, the 8th annual Footsteps to Success and Success Pageant. So that's going to be really good. It's entitled this year, It Was Necessary. She's also, I noticed too, that she's also a distinguished and nationally recognized runner at her college, Benedict College. So I thought that was interesting. So you have a wide variety of things. I want to start with you just telling us a little bit about your testimony, like where you were and how you got through that. Doctor, thank you.
Yes. We all go through storms in life, and I never thought that I would go through a storm as deep as I went through. I was in Colombia when it occurred, and it was personal matters that overcame with family members, and it ended up putting me in a position where I was asked to leave because it was another family member's house. And when I left that situation, it was me and my son. We had to survive. Had some family, had some friends that reached out and allowed us to stay over a couple of days and nights and stuff like that. So it was really, really tough for me. Walked across the stage and got my PhD homeless. And like I said, it was just one of those things. I never saw myself going through a storm as deep as that. And so last year when I did do the pageant, it was Can You Stand the Rain? Because it was so much rain, lightning, and thunderstorming going on in life. And then I understood that the sun would shine again, and we got our own place in October. And so the sun is shining, and with the pageant coming up this year, I know everything that happened, it was necessary.
Wow. God really blessed you, and you have a true story of a restoration and redemption. So when you graduated and got your PhD, you were homeless at that point in time?
Yes, ma'am. I walked across the stage, got my PhD, but and everybody called me Dr. Hicks, but underneath, I was definitely going through a situation. But I thank God for helping me out. I had a friend that flew down. She's actually on the radio station. She's on Hot 103.9. She flew down and watched me walk across the stage to get hooded. But I didn't have any family members there, but she did come and show some support.
Wow, that's awesome. That must have been really a trial to have to. Were you through with your thesis for your PhD when you were homeless, or did you have to go through that while you were homeless?
I had to go through the funding process of it with my committee chairperson, my URR. I had to go through all of that. I had to get my research to be able to even use the participants. So it was very hard. It was very tough, and not a lot of people know that this happened. And people look at me today and they still don't know. So this will be interesting to everybody to know that this is what happened, what occurred.
Well, I'm so excited that you're sharing it with us because, you know, that's what Shine Your Light is all about. My radio station, my radio show, is to allow my guests to shine their light into the world because we're all trying to just help people. That's what we're trying to do. And if you don't talk about it and get it out there, then people
Right.
don't really know where you came from and what caused you to have such a passion for what you do. I mean, I've served people all my life and all my career. And I'm like, you know, it's now time for me to give back and let them shine their light so we can get all the word out because everyone needs that hope. And, you know, and we need to hear about real life stories of things that have happened to everyone so people understand they're not alone. So that's very exciting. So let's talk a little bit about footsteps to success, how you develop that, what it's all about, because that's really the brand that we're going to be trying to promote for you so you can get that out there. And our show does air internationally. So there's going to be a lot of people all over the world seeing this, and you just never know. My prayer is that the right person sees this and it makes your program more successful. So tell us a little bit about that.
I started a pageant in 2006 at the Department of Juvenile Justice. It was for female offenders that had been abused. They were on drugs. They had all types of issues going on. And what I wanted to do was be restorative with those young ladies. I understood they had committed a crime, but in the end, I wanted them to also be able to repair the harm they've done to community by showing them how they could excel and do different things. So that was something that I was able to do at DJJ. I called it the Miss Willow Lane pageant. I named it after the facility at Willow Lane, and that pageant promoted positive self-esteem for the young ladies. A lot of times they would look at things on TV and video and feel like those were things that they need to do. So I just wanted to show them the positive aspect of it and also reflect on the self-esteem within. Not so much focusing on the outer beauty, but the inner beauty and giving them a renewal of the mind, body, and the soul. And so with that, I had that copyrighted and I went into community and saw that there were a lot of young ladies that were at risk as well. And you don't have to commit a crime to be at risk. Anything could put you at risk. And so I wanted to work with those young ladies and give back to them. And so I developed Footsteps to Success. I got that name from realizing that it would be their footsteps that they take from birth to an adult that will lead them to success. And so that's why I named it Footsteps to Success, with the same idea as the Miss Willow Lane pageant, is to promote positive self-esteem in the young ladies, just teach them how to talk and how to walk and just things like that that would help them out, life skills and things like that, girl circle training, stuff like that, that would get them prepared for the future, being able to transition into the world from adolescents, teenagers to adults and all those things.
Wow, that's awesome. So I noticed that this is the 8th annual pageant. So you've been doing this for 8 years. So I've
actually been doing it for since 2006.
Really?
So I've been doing it for 12 years. 6 of them was 8 of them was Footsteps to Success, and the other ones were under Miss Willow Lane. Yes,
okay, wow, that's such a success. So how do you find participants for your pageant?
So I do a lot of recruiting off of social media. I try to put that out there. I go to churches, I go to the schools. I work for Richland County Sheriff's Department. My sheriff, he supports me a lot. He's a sponsor. So just different aspects like that, churches, word of mouth, just anybody that has a teenager that feels like their child needs to go through the program, because we're not only doing a pageant and it's not about beauty, but we're forming a sisterhood and we're allowing them to see that they can get a renewal. And a lot of the girls that I get, they've never been in pageants before, they've never been in a dress before, and they have a positive outlook on life and they change.
Well, I have several people that I have interviewed in Clemson that have really, really famous sons. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if you could use them. Do you have speakers at your pageant, motivational speakers or anything like that?
I do. I have I have two speakers that's coming up. One is from Clemson, Miss Oglesby. She will be one of my guest speakers. She's been on your show before, so I'm excited about her telling her story. I grew up around her in the neighborhood, and so I've seen the progress she's made, and she's an excellent young lady. I really enjoy her. She works out a lot, and she's pushing for God every day and trying to make a difference.
What was her name again?
Rolita Oglesby.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, her
Yes.
son is is a very distinguished football player, and and I'm thinking that they're so motivational. The younger men and women are so motivational to young people. You might want to consider that too, if he's ever in town, or you could do a special thing and have him there to speak. That would just really thrill Rolitha, as well as thrill all the people that are there, obviously. There's
Absolutely. I love to have them.
Yeah, there's also another lady there called Carla Boyd, and she actually interviewed her. Her son is Taj Boyd. He was the quarterback for Clemson, and he's still there in Clemson. He's doing a lot in Clemson. And, these athletes love to do special promotions and things like that to promote the community and all of that. So you might want to keep him in mind, too, because he's so well known there. And all I'm trying to do is really just kind of find a way to be sure. I mean, if you've done this thing for 12 years, it's time to expand out and make it national, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's in God's plan for you. So
I believe so too.
So tell me, so how old is your son now?
My son just turned 11, September the 13th.
Oh, okay. So is he so proud of you, and how's he doing? Is he doing good in school and all?
He is doing excellent in school. He always writes me little notes telling me he's proud of me. He's just a very spiritual young man, such a leader. He plays basketball, and he's one of my biggest fans. So I don't think I could have went through that storm without him. I mean, he was more praying and doing a lot of praying and stuff as a 9-year-old than I ever seen any person do. I mean, he's really been a gift to me.
Well, that says a lot to how you're raising him and what's happening. Can you talk a little bit more? Let's talk a little bit more about homelessness. I want people to understand that you were homeless and that you are very successful now, and that there is hope for them if they're homeless, because we have so many homeless people in America.
Right.
They don't realize that they think they're alone. And
right.
Of course, with any type of situation that you're in. But let's talk a little bit more about homeless and what you're doing, if you're doing anything for that cause.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that being homeless at any time in our life, circumstances can happen. And so me going through that phase of being homeless, I had to learn not to give up. And that was my deepest moments where I know I needed God, and that's how I got through it. And because of that situation and just my desire to help and give back, I am in the process of trying to open up a transition home for homeless women in Columbia, South Carolina. These women, I want them to come in and learn the same skills. I want to be able to do a pageant for the women to help renew them. I want to be able to teach them some job skills and all that. So I'm looking for buildings, donations, sponsorships, all kinds of things to be able to open up this transition home, an 8-bed transition home for homeless women. And then use me as a testimony. I mean, people would look at me and think, man, she's got a PhD, she's got this, and everybody thinks or thought I had it going on, but deep inside I was crying. Even on the outside I was crying. I would come home every day and it was just crying. But at the end of the day, I had to get on my knees every day and pray. And it was God that got me out of that situation. And so I continue to thank him, not only when I'm in the storm, but even when things are going well, I have to continue to praise him. So I just want to encourage anybody that's going through that you can get out of that situation. I'm here for you. You can feel free to reach out for me. I'll do whatever I can, get some food to you, get some supplies or whatever, because I know what it feels like. I really do.
Absolutely, and we have so much homelessness even in our backyard. I live near Little Rock, and Little Rock is just riddled with homeless people. And you know, Little Rock, Arkansas is in the central part of the country, and it's an
Right.
absolutely fantastic place. It's easy to get to. The airport is close by, and there's a lot of people that come here for meetings. There's a lot of history here
Hmm.
and all in Arkansas. But people are always saying, you know, that when they go downtown, there's just so many homeless people. So, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know, instead of talking about that, we really need to be doing something to try to remedy that. And
Mm.
so these transition homes that people are building and things like that can really help with that. And I'm sure it's the same way in your backyard too, in
Oh
Clemson,
yeah.
as well as in Charlotte and in Columbia. So that's really a great thing. I hope that maybe if you use this video, you'll be able to promote some of the things that you want to do and get it out there and
Yes,
start,
ma'am.
you know, start setting up something so you can make that happen. I think that would be wonderful because
Thank you.
you know, people are just so hopeless. It really hurts how
Yeah.
hopeless everyone is. So tell me a little bit more about the prison program that you were talking about. I too have a prison program for publishing books, and we
Hmm.
go into the prisons and teach people how to write their stories, and
Hmm.
then we'll publish their books for a very inexpensive price because everyone has a story, whether you're incarcerated or not, but everyone has a story. And sometimes just to have a book in your hand will get doors open to you, you know, because Oprah's got a book club and Steve Harvey and all them people, they have these book clubs. And what they do is if you've written a book about your story, then it opens a few more doors for you. And like I say, that's what Shine Your Light is all about. But tell me a little bit about the prison program you were talking to. You said you went into the prison to get people for the pageant?
Well, actually, so I worked at DJJ. I got a job there as a social worker. I
Okay.
started in December of 2006, and my supervisor asked me if there was one thing I could do or create that would be outside of the box for a prison setting for young ladies. What would it be? And I said I would create a pageant that promotes positive self-esteem. So those young ladies were in prison uniforms, never got to wear regular clothes. They never went on proms, never got dressed up, never did any of that. And so I recruited them from me being a social worker at DJJ and just established that program for the agency. And then
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Oh my
thank you.
gosh. And you know, I can imagine you doing Footsteps to Success pageants in other parts of the country too.
That's
Especially,
my goal.
yeah, especially since there's so many people that really they see the glamour on TV, they see the fancy dresses and all. They never ever get to experience that. So I
Right.
think that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm gonna promote your pageant and promote you all over social media too, because you just never know who's going to pick something up and look at it. And you can put this interview, the electronic interview, on your resume or whatever, and send
Okay.
it out and get people to host your pageants in other cities. They would be more than happy to do that. So,
I love that.
but that
Thank
would
you.
be really exciting. Well, so now tell me a little bit about you and how you're doing now. And in my eyes, you look like a movie star. You look like a model to me. So I keep watching your Facebook posts, and you just have these just really beautiful pictures that you have of yourself, you know, all dressed up and just, I mean, you look like a model to me too. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing for yourself.
Well, in those pictures you see, I'm trying to get into that mode of getting that. The same thing I teach the young ladies is feeling beautiful. So being able to, because when I went through the storm, it did cause me to lose a lot of things. And one of the things I lost was my self-esteem, because here I am, a PhD, a MSW, and all these different things. And I felt like I lost everything. And I felt like at that moment, I lost even my friends, you know. And so I enjoy taking pictures. I did some modeling in the past, and participated in some pageants like the Miss South Carolina USA pageants when I was younger. in Miss Teen, South Carolina. We talked about Benedict College. I was an attendant to Miss Benedict College there. I was Miss Young Alumni at Benedict College, and I was second runner-up to Miss Benedict College National Association. So, yeah, I just love
You've got a beautiful model. Wow.
Thank
So that just builds, when you have that low self-esteem, it really lends a lot to let people hear you talk like that because of everything you've been through. And if you can regain your confidence and do what you do, and that's your whole purpose of Footsteps to Success, that means a lot. So
Yes,
I'm really, really excited for you. This is a short interview, but I just have so enjoyed everything that you've shared with us.
thank you.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we wrap it up?
Just my motto at Footsteps to Success is in order to reach them, we have to teach them. So that is the goal that I'm trying to do, is just be able to reach these young ladies and be able to teach them. Also, I am a deputy sheriff at Richland County Sheriff's Department. So through my leader, Sheriff Leigh, we do a lot of community service work there. So I appreciate being able to give back to the community. So if anybody wants to talk to me or need some advice or anything, I'm here for anybody. And I just want to thank God for being in my life and being able to help me out always.
Well, I thank you so very much. What is your favorite scripture? Do you have one?
I would have to say it's Psalms 23. It is, because at that moment I had to understand the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And so those were things that was something that I had to keep embottled in me as I was going through the storm. And I'm still going through a storm. Everybody will continue to go through storms in life. But at the end of the day, the sun.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And at WYTV7, our mission is our mission at WYTV7 is if we help one, then we've done our job. So I feel really good about this interview with you and putting your stuff out there. I'm very, very excited about that. And the Lord is our shepherd. So I'm happy about that. Would you like to share your contact information if anyone would like to get a hold of you, Doctor?
Sure. My phone number is area code 803-361-7415. If you would like to email me, it's leighhicks33@yahoo.com. That is LEIGHHICKS 33@yahoo.com. Also, I have my Footsteps email address, and that's footsteps, 2, success.leigh, LEIGH, @gmail.com.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. And I just want to remind everyone again that we are a nonprofit at WYTV7 and award-winning. So if you feel the need to plant a seed, please do. That will help us promote these shows. And I personally feel this show is very much worth promoting. I'm going to be promoting it anyway. And my goal is for Footsteps to Success to have more than one show more than one pageant annually, and let's have it in some bigger cities. And when we post all of this and use social media to the max, we never know who's going to see this. So we're going to try to really get it out there. Okay.
I really appreciate it. Thank you all for having me.
I thank you so much again. Thank you.
Thank you.